Transformers issue number 24. This is it. This is the end of the Daniel Warren Johnson series. You've been with me from number 1. We're at 24. 25 kicks off a brand new story with new writers and artists, things like that. And this is it. Everything that we've been through comes to this moment. Look at this cover. Optimus Prime versus Megatron. This is a doozy. Let's get into it. The issue begins with Optimus Prime and Megatron locked in battle. If you remember in the last issue, Ultra Magnus returns. Prime looked like he was dead, but he was actually in the Matrix. And Ultra Magnus rallied the troops. They're out fighting the Decepticons. Prime gets a spark from Spikey. You know, he comes back. He gets his arm put back on, and they have a showdown, and it begins. It begins. It is nothing but fighting, punching. Look at that. Prime is punching him. Megatron is kicking him. It's going back and forth. Prime's not backing down. He lunges at Megatron, transforms into his truck, and smashes Megatron down. This is freaking awesome. Prime is saying, "You think I'm weak because I care for the innocent?" Does a wrestling move off the top rope and just nails Megatron. Megatron looks up and he sees a human, right? And he's like, okay, here we go. Walks over to the human. Prime is yelling, Megatron, wait, and stomps down on the car with the human. Prime screams, no. He goes, do you still want to fight me? You might hurt one of them or all of them. He's like, no, we must. He goes, we must finish it here, Megatron says. And he's trying to protect the humans. He's like, what's the matter with you, Prime? Why don't you fight me? Megatron cheats, of course. You know, like going after the humans to keep Prime occupied. And Prime's just trying to be in defense mode, you know? And he's like getting a lecture from Megatron. He's like, you can't lead this way. You can't be a good leader. You can't save Cybertron if this is how you're going to do things. Knocks Prime down because Prime was defending the humans. In comes my man Starscream. He's like, my lord, you're victorious. Should I just end them? Megatron transforms into his gun mode. He's like, nah, man, he's got to suffer. They pick up Optimus Prime. They drop him on the top of this building where the antennas just rip through his body. And Prime is just barely alive. He's just hanging on. Soundwave gives the report that the Decepticons are now victorious. The Autobots didn't stand a chance. They couldn't take on Devastator and Bruticus. You could see them both still complaining. You could see it looks like the dead bodies of Wheeljack, Jazz. RC is crawling to Magnus. And Ultra Magnus is like, man, I failed. I failed us all. In comes Starscream, grabbing the two humans, Spike, you know, and Carly. He's taking them to Megatron. And RC's just got a look of panic on his face. Prime is just sitting there. And Megatron is just looking for Prime to suffer as much suffering as he possibly can, right? So he goes, okay, Starscream went and got the humans, got Beachcomber, lays them out in front of Prime. He looks at Prime and is like, you got to choose. You got to choose. Are you really one of us from Cybertron, or do you care more about these stupid humans? You got to choose. I'm going to kill one of them. You let me know. Prime is like, no, don't do that. Megatron transforms into his gun mode. Starscream holds him, and he's like, Prime, choose. Humans or Beachcomber? Beachcomber is pleading, let it be me, Prime. Let it be me. Prime's like, I can't. I'm not going to do that. He's like, very well, Starscream. Let's begin with the humans. Starscream's like, gladly. And before he pulls the trigger, he looks up. And flying overhead is Omega Supreme, one of like the Guardians. And if you remember back when they were doing the origins of Starscream, him and his friends would sit there waiting, hoping that one of them would recognize them when they flew overhead. They fly overhead. Optimus Prime says, by the primes. Starscream looks up, and wouldn't you know it, Omega Supreme looks down and acknowledges Starscream. He sees him because that's what he always wanted with him and his friends. He just wanted to be seen. Megatron in gun mode is screaming at Starscream. Starscream holds his hand up and waves at the Guardian as it goes by. He begins to remember who he is. And that grip that Megatron has over him is completely loose. He looks up into the stars and he goes, my name is Ulchtar, his original name. And while he's staring at the Omega Supreme that only comes around 2 years, you know, as it circles the galaxy, as he stares, he points the gun at his face and pulls the trigger. I gotta tell you, I was in shock to see this because this comic series, Starscream was a major player. It started with him. You know, he killed off Bumblebee in the first issue. He took over the Decepticons. We thought he died. He comes back, you know, and he has the opportunity right here to basically end the war and the bad guys winning. You know, this is the opportunity. And he has this vision and he sees Omega Supreme and he remembers who he is, and he doesn't want to be Starscream anymore. He doesn't want Megatron to control him anymore. So he pulls the trigger and knocks Megatron out of his hands. He's laying on the ground where it looks like smoke is coming out of him, like he's probably gone. This is the second time he's died in this series. And Megatron's like, you always were a pathetic vessel, Starscream. I should have never chosen you, and just kicks him off the side, you know, and Megatron's like, you know what? I'll just do it myself. And before he pulls the trigger to kill Spike and Carly, in comes Shredhead. Remember, he was put through the portal. He's got all his energy, man. He's a warrior. He's ready to throw down. He freaking knocks Megatron down, and he says, you shall not. He looks over. He's like, hey, Carly. Cliffjumper says hello. Soundwave comes out of nowhere. Is like, don't you dare attack my lord. And man, crack in the back of the head. Sends Soundwave tumbling off the top of that tower. We don't know what happens to him. Prime is still hanging there. Shredhead comes over and he's like, hey man, I'm a friend sent by an old friend, and begins to cut Prime loose. Optimus Prime still has one of those antennas stuck in his side. He pulls it out and goes over to Megatron and just cracks him. Just cracks him across the face. It's freaking awesome. He goes, I thought you were made of sterner stuff. And he's talking trash, man. Prime was out for the count. And he just knocks Megatron basically completely out. Devastator's there, catches Megatron, and he's like, oh, Decepticons, we gotta retreat. And off they go. We then see Starscream laying on the ground, and he ever so slightly lifts his head up. And that's the end of what we see of Starscream. I don't know about Soundwave. And then we go back to Mr. Witwicky, the birth of his son, seeing Spike and holding him. And then we see a picture of Optimus Prime holding Spike, and Spike opening his eyes. And he's like, oh, thank the Prime, you're still alive. And he looks over at Beachcomber. He's like, come here, my friend. He's like, don't apologize. You are the best of us, Beachcomber. This is Optimus Prime at his... I love Optimus Prime in this series. They captured everything that I love about Prime and just made it better in this series. I can't say it highly enough, right? Sorry, I got a little off track there. It's just awesome, you know? Carly's like, the sun's going down. The power is gone from this whole city. It's so dark. He's like, look at the Matrix. I've been cured, and it's slowly coming back to life. Carly's like, but the light, it's so small. He goes, yes, Small, yes, but still mighty. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the conclusion of this series. I don't know what's going to happen in issue number 25. I don't know where it's going, if it's in the future, if it's in the past, or whatever. I don't know, but I got to tell you, this has been a treat for me as a Transformers fan. I love how they wrote Starscream. I love Soundwave. I love Megatron, Optimus Prime, you know, Wheeljack, Jazz, Shockwave. That was it. They did an excellent job, in my opinion. You know, we still don't know what's going on with Elita 1, with Cliff Jumper, right? Ultra Magnus is on the battlefield. We don't have any of those answers, but I got to tell you, I love this series, and I hope the next people that they do it justice, because this was fantastic. And I'm actually going to put 1 through 24 together and do the complete story. It's going to be a long video. And I got to tell you, I bought so many covers from this series and so many extra things. That's how much I enjoyed, and I'm enjoying this Energon universe. Thank you guys for coming with me on this ride. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll keep it going. You know, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep the train moving, right?